Hi everyone, it's me, Krillius, Team Racing Productions MC and producer. And joining me today, we have Shuffle Entertainment. Welcome, welcome.
Hey,
Hello,
thank you
hello,
so much for
hello.
having us.
It
Thank you for
is so
having us.
great to have you here with to have both of you here with me today. How are you?
We are
Doing great.
fine,
Thanks
doing
for
great,
being
doing
on.
great.
Awesome, awesome. Well, it's such a pleasure to have you here. And the way how we like to start things off here is to have our guests introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about their background and experience and what they are doing. So I'll give you the floor.
No, let's see.
Okay. Hi, I'm Nola C, originated from New Orleans, Louisiana. Me and Jared been doing this podcast for about 3 years. It's all about music. So the funny thing about this is you don't have to have a musical background. You just have to have the love for music. So I'll say growing up all the time, I was used to call myself a musical radio because when I had friends or family or anything like that, they always wanted to know like put me together a playlist, or I'm feeling this type of way, do you have a song that can maybe help me out through certain situations? So that's just my musical background. I grew up watching all the musical shows like TRL, 106 in Park. So I just always had that love for music.
Awesome, awesome. Jared, what about you?
Yes, and so I'm Jay Brooks, and so as Nola C said, this is Shuffle Entertainment. We originally began to kind of cultivate this idea 3 years ago, and we went live with a podcast during the pandemic in 2020, and then of course moved to video format recently. Also here from New Orleans, a little bit about myself is kind of the similar strand. I was more of the musical kid, right? Played piano, did a lot of singing, grew up in the church. And I was really connected to the arts. But of course, through that, I would do the same, obsessed watching TRL, 106 in Park, music videos every morning, on the weekend, buying CDs. Like Tuesday was my favorite day of the week because we were going to pick up CDs, and that's when CDs were a thing.
I
And so
think
this concept really came for the true love of music and what we do and how it makes you feel, how there's a song for every emotion, whether you're happy, you're sad, it's time to party, you need some motivation. And this is for us to just kind of have those discussions. There's been so many changes in music, and so this was the appropriate, I felt, way to kind of get that messaging out and to connect with other people. The climate that we live in today is so polarizing, but for me, the thing that unifies us the most and the things that we have most in common can usually be found through song.
I
So
love that. I
that
love
is
that.
shuffle. Yes.
Yeah, certainly, certainly. Well, I'd love to hear from each of you which episode of your podcast or which topic or theme that you've explored that stands out in your mind the most, or what either your favorite or one that you think would be emblematic of what the podcast, is or encapsulates.
Mhm. I would say for me, it's actually our most recent one that we have available, which, shameless plug, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google, you name it. It's Problematic Faves. And we did this because we've taken a lot of fun concepts, right? And I felt that so many of our artists and people who were very popular have went through a rough time. We live in a different climate. And there's no shield to what happens. They live their lives on social media like we do, and so the court of public opinion is very, very strong.
Mm.
And so for us, it was, we know people are conflicted, right? And to give an example, a lighter example, you can use an artist like Chris Brown, right? You have people who say, I don't, want to listen to him anymore. I don't agree with him anymore about things that he's done in his personal life. But then musically, you think, well, wow, what a great singer, what a great songwriter. Really kind of the forefront in R&B, especially for males. And so how do you balance the two, right? Because we have morals too, we have ethics, and we really tackled what these artists did and if it's possible to separate the person from the art. And of course, there's more egregious examples, but that really was a fun and provocative topic for me, because I do think that it really comes down to being able to separate the art. And these artists contribute with other artists. So do we write them off altogether, and do we not support them? And so that was really fun for me to really be a part of and have that conversation. And it opened up a lot of discussions. What our viewers got to see in that episode was about 35 minutes, but in real time, we had so many conversations about several artists and how it's challenging to separate the art. And at the end of the day, people will listen to whatever they want to listen to. And so it was kind of just to reassert that feeling that, if you're going to make a decision, stand by your decision. I think that there's always more to the story versus to say, well, hands up, I'm out. It's not that easy. We're connected to songs and artists for several reasons.
Yeah. No, let's see. What about you?
Okay, that was great, Jay Brooks. So I would say my favorite, and is really a highlighted trend in the music industry today, is sample this, sample that. It's one that we did in the past. Hopefully we get to do another one because there's so many songs that's being sampled. And Jared and I are 90s babies. So it's a lot of songs from the 90s that's getting sampled now today. And we're kind of sensitive to it because we remember those songs when they first came out. And it's like now when they're taking the songs, it's like, they're giving a little effort or they're getting a lot of effort. So I would say that was one of my favorites, and sampling has been something that's been done since the 80s. I mean, to me, I think Diddy is the king of samples, but you can see the difference in the samples from the 80s and the 90s to now, because, he would recreate songs. I mean, we just had, let's say, Usher come through and with Summer Walker. With his song, it's like they recreated a whole nother song.
Yes.
That's a perfect sample. But songs these days, sometimes it just don't be perfect. So I love to be able to debate about that, because there was songs in the 90s and the 2000s that we really know and that's connected to us. And then it's like with his new generations, they'll take the song and it's like, did you really do it right? So so it's a healthy debate, and I love to debate about stuff like that.
To be honest, like you have every artist has like a group, right? You call Beyonce fans the Beehive. You have
and do you get into that on the podcast sometimes, even like fandoms and what that looks like?
You're actually talking to one of the board members of the Beehive right now.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
There you go.
I'm very strong Beyonce
board member of the Beehive.
And it's fun, right? We do get into that because sometimes they go left on social media. You get on Twitter and it's like you guys are arguing about the wrong things. Let's really talk about what it is, and to really be a stand and support your faith. And regardless of numbers, there's a way to have that in a fun way, because it's a fun conversation, to be honest. I think if you listen, like when you get to talk to a lot of artists, they talk about their backgrounds in the recording process. You talk about the recording process for Motown. They were all on the same label, but there was a very competitive nature because they wanted to be the best and they wanted to put out the best content. And so they were very competitive with each other with the music that was provided. And that's
everybody wanted to be the Supremes if they came and said they were a girl group. Everybody wanted to be Jackson 5 if they said they were the little teeny boppers. Everybody had a standard that they were trying to be and to become the best. Definitely.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. And so, what does it bring to you to be able to talk about this, and especially, as two Black people, to be able to look at music from that lens and from that perspective, and how it's shaped the community, and how it's shaped the culture, of Black people. I'm sure that those are some of the things that you discuss as well on the podcast when it comes to music.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I mean, also just it's great to do this conversation right now during Black Music Month.
Hmm.
I'm very proud to be Black, to be a Black man, and to be able to celebrate Black music, because history shows us that we are the innovators in regards to music, rock and roll, country, rhythm and blues. We really
Yes.
are the forefronts. You can go as early as you like to go. We hear all these stories about what happened, unfortunately, with race, where Black artists would create a song, and a more popular white artist or someone with more money would kind of take that, flip it, and then it's their song. We didn't have, there were a lot of legal foundation to stop and say, hey, that's my song.
Hmm.
And so, because
Now there is.
now there, right, and now there is. And so I'm very, very proud, and I do see the responsibility in being Black, and to be able to really push this narrative, because we, as a race and as a culture, innovated just about every sound that you hear today in music. And so, great question, and that really makes me full from, as like I said, as a Black man, because you know look at the trends now. What's your top
Hmm.
selling genre? Your top selling genre is hip hop.
There you
People
go.
don't want to recognize that, but it really is the top selling genre across all
Yep.
races.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Well, Nola, J. Brooks, how can people find out more about Shuffle Entertainment? How can they follow you, keep up with you, and where can they listen?
Okay, well, the best way to support us is to visit our Instagram and Twitter, and it's at hit shuffle underscore. Also, however you listen to your podcast, Apple Music or Spotify, you can look us up under that, Shuffle Entertainment. And also on our YouTube channel, you can check out our live shows, and that's under Shuffle Entertainment as well.
Fantastic
Awesome,
Black
awesome.
lately.
And we're gonna have those links in the description below so that our viewers can go ahead and check them out. Nola J. Brooks, thank y'all so much for joining me today. It has been such a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you
Thank
so much
you
for
so
having me.
much.
Also, too, I'd just like to add, if any listener who watches this and they want to support us, we are growing and looking to expand. And so currently the shirts that we have, you can currently also click our link, which you can find on our socials, Twitter, Instagram, or even TikTok, YouTube as well. You can go on, copy some Shuffle merch, and tune in and join the conversation. We do music conversations for everyday people. And so everyone's invited.
That's right.
Love
Thank
that.
you again
Love
for
that.
having us.
Thank you
Really
so
appreciate it.
much
Thank you.
for this. And thanks for joining us today. I want to remind everyone that you can keep up with everything Team Racing Productions at Team Racing on all forms of social media. Click around our YouTube channel and check out our other interviews, vlogs, forums, and more. While you're there, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most of all, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.